I love this movie so much. I've seen it, I think, like 3 or 4 times. The fact, I guess, in a way, I have to like thank you for introducing us to Shanti, just because she's so, I want to say beautifully angry. She's not angry. She's just very, you know, I can't think of the right word, but you know what I mean. I'm making the
Yeah.
right hand gesture. Yeah,
Yeah, totally.
yeah. And I guess I kind of wanted to ask, in a general sense, how did you meet her? How did you become aware of her? I'm obsessed with her, and I think everybody else will be too.
Yeah. It was really lucky. I had the idea for this film back in 2016. I was living
Oh
in New
wow.
York at the time. Yeah. I was living in Manhattan, or I was living in Brooklyn, and I was in Manhattan, and I saw like a student driver like creeping through an intersection, and I was like, that is insane to imagine how terrifying it would be to learn how to drive in the
Yeah,
city. And so I just have this like running list of doc ideas in my phone, and I just wrote down like while I was waiting at the crosswalk, I just wrote down like driving school in Manhattan documentary. Um, and I just had that saved, and then I try to make like 2 or 3 documentaries a year. I just like constantly just trying to make stuff, and
yeah,
in 2024 I was just feeling antsy, and I went through my long list of doc ideas, and that one popped out, and I was like, man, I really need to figure out how to make that happen. I love that
yeah.
idea. Um, and so I just started like searching around for interesting driving
Hmm.
schools and instructors, and there was an article about Shanti, um, and how she was kind of the go-to driving instructor for New York City's elite. And I just thought that was interesting. And I was like, what makes her so captivating?
Yeah,
And even just like the little quotes they had in the article from her just were hilarious and like really entertaining to me. So
yeah,
I emailed the driving school, and like within an hour they emailed me back, and they're like, hell yeah, let's do it. Like they were just really into it. So I flew out to New York and met Shanti, and the funny thing is she's had many people reach out about making
mm,
documentaries and reality shows and stuff about her and her school. And she's never said yes until I reached out. And
wow.
I was talking to her just like a couple weeks ago, like what she hasn't given me a clear answer as to why she said yes to me. The only thing she says is that she likes me,
Hey,
which is a very nice thing, which,
if you can get her to say that she likes you, I would be fine with that if I were you.
yeah,
I would just be like, that's amazing. Yeah.
yeah,
I,
yeah.
I, I was just thinking about how when I was younger, I grew up in Pittsburgh, and I was a little swishy gay kid, and I was like, I want to go see musicals. And so we didn't have money to fly, so my dad would drive us to New York from Pittsburgh. And I remember when we're not even like, the film isn't even centered on like Times Square, but anytime we got like near like Manhattan, I was like terrified just as a passenger.
Totally.
And I just think like the idea that you as a director was like, I'm going to make a movie about people learning to drive in New York City. I was like, that in and of itself is compelling to tune in and watch for me.
Thank you. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. I wanted to ask you what it was like not to just be in the car with her, but I wanted to ask maybe if you could describe your experience of being in the car while she's teaching versus when she herself is driving, because I feel like it's two different experiences, and I love both. So yeah.
Well, the funny truth is that I was never in the car.
Oh my god. Okay.
Because we rigged 2 cameras in the back seats that took up both the back seats, and then
Mm,
a camera on the hood of the car. And then we were wirelessly monitoring from a follow car behind Shanti and the student.
oh, that's
Um,
cool.
Yeah, and then we had our sound hooked into our car in the follow car. So we just had the speaker on. We were listening to the lesson, and then I had monitors like watching the lesson unfold.
Hmm.
Um, but I was never in the car, and I think had I been, I would have been uh, terrified. And that's
Yeah.
part of what's so impressive about Shanti is that she is so calm and so confident that none of her students are ever going to crash the car or that nothing wrong is going to happen. She's just so like in her element and
Hmm.
calm that maybe that would have made me feel fine too, because I really do trust her.
Yeah.
But there were many moments where I felt happy to be in the safety of the follow car behind. And
That's
then
funny.
I haven't either, like the only time that I rode alone with Shanti in the car was when I was driving. She asked me to drive her to Dunkin' Donuts.
Okay.
Um, and I felt like all I wanted was for her to tell me that I'm a good driver. And I I was like craving that and I never received any notes about my driving, which maybe is also a compliment in
I guess
another.
no notes is better than plenty or of notes or any notes.
Exactly. Yeah, totally.
Oh my
Yeah.
God, that's funny. Okay. I don't know. There's something about okay. This kind of goes into what something I wanted to ask about is so when Shanti is talking about people who have like a ridiculous amount of money,
Mhm.
who they have the privilege and wealth that they don't think about like I don't say the importance of driving, but I like how the movie has like an edge or a thread about how like driving a car is probably a skill or something that everybody should know how to do. And I guess I wanted to ask the conversation about like doing stuff for yourself and not relying on people and the people who have privilege who can throw money at whatever problem that they have. I thought that was just like a really uh I would say sneaky, but there was like a way that it's like it's put in there that it's like she's teaching lessons without really being conscious of teaching lessons. But I guess I wanted to know maybe like is that something that you set out to find like this kind of thing that she's instilling in young people other than the physical act of driving, if that makes sense?
Yeah, it does. I think I was drawn to the idea that driving, especially driving in New York, which is like one of the harshest environments to drive
Mm-hmm.
in, is like such an equalizer. Like
Yeah.
it doesn't matter um your race, your gender, your socioeconomic economic status. Like when you're behind the wheel in Manhattan, you're going to get treated the exact same as you're going to get treated no matter how
Yeah.
rich you are, how much money you have. Like you're going to get screamed at, you're going to get honked at, you're going to get cut off. And I love that. I think that in some weird way that's really beautiful to me that
Mm. An
everyone's
equalizer almost.
it's an
Yeah.
equalizer, yeah.
Yeah.
And Shanti is this like the perfect person to take maybe someone that has a fragile uh that is fragile and maybe
Mm.
hasn't isn't used to being told no or isn't used to being pushed around a little bit.
Yeah.
She, you know, she is a amazing sort of guide into the world of like the harsh reality of driving in New York, which is that,
Yeah.
people are fucking crazy and asshole. And she's on your side. Like she's the
Yeah.
person you want on your side when you're navigating the wild streets of New York.
Yeah.
So yeah.
The one of the last times I was in New York, because I go like once a year, that we were in a car. A friend was driving, and my husband was in the back seat. And this friend doesn't usually drive in New York City, and we were driving in a busy area, and people were honking and people were yelling, and I don't know how my husband has this wisdom, but he's like they're not honking at you. It's just sort of like the culture of drive. I don't know. It's just sort of
Oh,
like this
it's
is what it
true.
is.
Yeah, it's true. I actually have this I have this hot take that driving in New York is the best place in the world to drive.
I was
Only
thinking that too.
because, only because it is so there's a system to driving in New York. There's like an expect there's there's almost like a code that you can depend on. Like it's very reliable. Like you
Hmm.
know whatever like the most asshole thing to do is in any moment is what everyone around you will do. So like you can depend on people to cut you off or to do the thing that's craziest. And there's something
Expect it.
about that.
Yes.
Expect it. And there's something about that that's safe to me. I'm like, I know what this person's about to do, so I can plan for it. Whereas like I live in Portland, Oregon
Yeah.
now, everyone's so passive that it's dangerous. Like it freaks me out. I never know what
Yeah.
someone's so anyway, I'm
You
getting
know,
very
I
heated
thought
about
a lot. I thought a lot about like my own like driving, learning how to drive experience. Like I remember my dad kept telling me he was like the worst thing you can possibly be is an uncertain driver. Like you just have to
yeah,
be so confident while you're driving like a 2 ton piece of metal.
totally.
Um, and what is it like? Is it the song New York, New York? Like if you can make it here, you can make it anywhere. So like
Yeah,
if you can
yeah,
drive here, you can drive anywhere. That's
exactly.
that's
It's
great. Okay.
totally true. Yeah.
I want to ask about entering Shanti's home. Um, for some reason, I was really struck by the different angles in which you shoot her, whether she's talking to you or whether you were observing her. And I
Mm.
was curious as to what was important to you in terms of showing her in her own space. I mean, it does feel like any time that she is in anybody else's car, it is still her space. But
Mhm.
I don't know, the sort of like environment that is technically her home. I guess I wanted to know what was important to you there.
Yeah, I think her home, um, it's a place that I think means a lot to her,
Mm-hmm.
but these days she tries to spend as little time as she can in it.
Mm-hmm.
Um, and I think it's just there's a lot of sadness there because
Yeah.
of passing of her husband and like the space itself, like there's artwork. Her husband was like an art dealer and he worked at a gallery and there's artwork all over the house
Mm.
and there's a lot of just like memories, like family photos and like I
Yeah.
think it's just it's a place that she's been for 40 years. She's been in the same Bronx apartment for 40
Wow.
years. She raised her kids in this house, in this apartment. She lived with her husband in this apartment.
Mm-hmm.
It's a, I think, 3 or 4 bedroom with empty
Okay.
rooms that she lives in one of the rooms. And so I think I just, I think I just wanted to show it for what it is, which is a house that's empty but filled with a lot of
Mm.
um, memories and the past and some pain, um, which I think is unexpected given how much like charisma and life she has in the car, which is obviously the place where she's most comfortable and
Yeah.
confident, feels at home. But then the irony is like her actual home is a place that she just like turns on the AC, goes to sleep, and gets back to her car as soon as she can
Yeah.
now. And
Mm.
so, yeah, there was something a little bit sad about it, um, and I felt like it was important to show another side of Shanti, that she's a complex person that's
Oh yeah.
being a loved one, and the space sort of is symbolic of that. So that was, and also I just didn't know all this until we showed up. Like it was. I had a feeling because she was a little bit resistant at first to the idea of filming there.
Sure.
But I think as we built trust, she became more comfortable with the idea. And even when she was in the space, she was like still working. She was like making
Calling
calls,
people. Yeah.
appointments and stuff. So it's like hard, she doesn't really fully relax there, I don't think anymore.
Mm. Okay. I guess the silly question that I wanted to ask you to end with is I wanted to know if you will let your kids become one of her students.
Hmm. Well, I just had my first child. She
Congratulations.
Thank you. She's
Sure.
just about 5 months old.
We have a
Um,
ways to go to think about it.
so we
Yeah.
have some time. We have,
Yes.
15 years or so. And I don't live in New York anymore, but, you know, to back up what I said earlier, I do think it's one of the best places to drive. So there's a small chance I will bring her to New York to
Okay.
learn to drive. And I would trust her with Shanti for sure
Yeah. Can you
because
imagine? like your daughter's like, where are we going to New York? Are we going to see the sights, the tourist attractions, any Broadway shows? Like, no, we're going to learn to drive and get in the
Yeah,
car.
that's what we're
So
doing. Yeah.
that's
I
amazing.
mean, I know Shanti would be down. I know
Yeah.
she would. Yeah.
I feel like in a weird way, if she told my child that she was a good driver before she ever told me that I was a good driver, I would be fuming.
Yeah,
Fuming. Yeah,
I
I
would
would
too.
die.
For sure.
Yeah. Well, thank you so much for your time. I just think it's such, I don't know, we need films like this. I don't know. I feel so comforted in Shanti's presence, even though I'm not in the same room with her.
Mm,
And I don't know, there's this sort of like no nonsense, take no prisoners attitude that she brings that I don't know is very comforting to me. And that's I don't know really how to describe it other than that.
yeah.
Um and I just love the movie so much. I was talking with somebody else who is covering, I think, Palm Springs, and
Mm,
it was funny that I had just watched the movie, and then a friend who lives in Toronto just watched the movie, and we chat all the time, and we came to each other. We were like, "Did you watch this movie?" And we were
oh,
so thrilled that you won at Palm Springs because we, I don't know, it's just a really winning film. I'm just rambling now, but it's yeah, just love it. That's all.
thank you.
Yeah,
Yeah. I'm hoping the whole Oscar thing works out. We're going for it the best we
yeah,
can. Yeah, we'll see.
yeah. Okay. Well, thank you again, and I guess just have a good rest of your day. Thank you.
Thanks. You too.
Okay.
I really appreciate it.
Yeah.
It's a lot.
All right.
Yeah.